Hello, good afternoon students. Welcome in our new video of class 7th SST, and then we are taking geography portion of SST class 7. Students, we have been completed our chapter 2 of geography, and in that chapter 2 was our Earth part 1, and chapter 3 is for continuation of that chapter, our Earth chapter 2, part 2, that is included in chapter 3. And students, there are many theories behind the formation of our Earth or globe. In present time, in modern time, there are 7 continents beholding on the Earth's surface, and there is a vast ocean. If we see, this ocean is interconnected with each other, but have been separated with their names to read them. And what is the theory behind this modern global world, and what was exactly before in past this world, we have to see in our lesson, our Earth chapter 3. In this chapter we will be able to define volcanoes and earthquakes, how the volcanoes and earthquakes occurred and occurs. We will be able to know in this chapter and list the different types of volcanoes, and what are the different types of volcanoes. We will listed them and explain the distribution of volcanoes and how there is distribution of volcanoes. We will read and identify the different types of earthquake waves, and there is different types of earthquake waves. We will read further, explain the distribution of earthquakes and how the earthquakes has been distributed in Earth's surface or Earth's inner part of Earth. Now I read, students, in your course book, page number 20 of geography, theory of continental drift. So, first is the word continental drift. So, drift, if you see the Hindi meaning of this, drift means स्थान बदलना, change the place, and movement. There is a continuous movement, and by that movement the continents are exchanging their places and moving here and there, and they are making distance of between of them, sometime less and sometime more while moving. And some theories are there which can define that what was the location of continents in past, then what becomes after that, and what is the present and modern situation. The surface of the earth undergoes constant changes. Now this is theory of continental drift, our topic. What is the theory of continental drift, and what is continental drift? That is movement of continents and how they formed. Sometimes they were connected, interconnected, and sometimes now they are separated with each other. But if we talk about two continents, Europe and Asia, are till now interconnected, except these two continents, or others are not interconnected as well as these two. So students, the surface of earth undergoes constant changes. Alfred Wegener had put forth the continental drift theory. So this surface, I have 3 figures on our board, and these figures are taken from the course book. And these 3 figures show that how these continents change their places, and this movement and this drift, this changing of continent has been put forward as a theory of continental drift, and this theory of continental drift was introduced by Alfred Wegener in 1912. It's called, according to which, a supercontinent called Pangaea, and in starting time of our globe, Wegener shows that there were a supercontinent, that means an interconnected continent with each other was there, and which is known as Pangea, P-A-N-G-E-A. So the whole interconnected supercontinent, the 7 continents of modern time were interconnected with each other in past time, and they were known as supercontinent or as Pangea, which is shown in first figure, which is shown in first left figure of this globe. And this, in this continental theory of drift, this is first step of Wegener that he explained before. In starting, it was in this shape of Pangea, and was called and known as supercontinent. And initially broke down into 2 massive continents, and after time passes, these supercontinents divide. This supercontinent divides in 2 subsequent continents, and they were known as Eurasia and Gondwana. But before I start this, students, you have to know that these total 7 continents were there in past time also, but they were interconnected with each other. And you can see some separation of them also, like Eurasia were in, like present time, Europe and Asia were always interconnected. So we know these 2 continents as Eurasia. Half world of Europe and half world of Asia make Eurasia. So students, from past time these two continents had been always interconnected. But if you see North America, so then left side is North America, then Africa, South America. India has always kind of different continent, but this time now this is in Asia, but India has been separated always. And in time passes, it's mixed in now Eurasia. Okay, it went upward. Now students, there is Australia, Antarctica connected with South America that time. But with the time passes, it divides into 2 major parts, and first major parts became Laurasia and second major part became Gondwana. So what were they? Laurasia is North America, Eurasia. Connection and interconnection of these 3 continents become Laurasia, and Gondwana, that is South America, Africa, India, Australia and Antarctica. This becomes Gondwana. So these 2 major parts of continent then broken down. Now this picture moves of this scene, and after some time passes, our modern world created, and now all continents are separated with each other, and in that series we see North America is here. Now oceans are also separated. Firstly the oceans were only at one side of Earth and some in between there, but as time passes these continents went upper and connected with Eurasia and Laurasia, and this continent, South America, Africa, India, Australia and Antarctica, form a new major continents of group that is known as Gondwana. But in future, all oceans were interconnected, then we named the ocean in separation of continents occurred there. Then it is Pacific Ocean, left part of North America and South America. In between of that, there is Atlantic Ocean also known as, and in upper side we see Arctic Circle and Arctic Ocean also, and there is Antarctica, different part of Earth. In South Pole there is Antarctica, or continent of Antarctica went in lower side, and then India went on upper side to connected with Asia, and Europe and Asia till now interconnected. So this is the figure of modern world in this section. So this is known as Alfred Wegener continental drift theory, which is introduced in 1912, and these 3 figures, Pangea, Laurasia and Gondwana, and modern world, I have shown out here. The theory of plate tectonics was put forward in 1948. According to this theory, the earth crust is made up of rock plates known as lithospheric plates. There are 7 major lithospheric plates and some minor ones which are always in motion. So students, after this continental theory of drift or the continental drift theory of 1912, we read about lithospheric plates. What is lithospheric plates? Rock plates which form the earth crust. What is the rock? See the history of rock means patta or stone, hard rock. So there is a layer. There are layers. Earth's surface is formed in different layers. What is layer? It is parat. Different folds and layers. There is different layers in earth, and that layers is made of rocks. So there is earth crust, the rock part of earth, and that rock part of earth, that earth crust is made up of different earth layers, and that layers are also made up of rocks, and that rock plates are known as lithospheric plates. Lithospheric plates. Lithospheric plates. These are layers made up of rocks, and by these layers the earth crust, that inner surface of earth, is totally made up of. And these layers is known as lithospheric plates and is made up of rocks. And there are 7 major lithospheric plates and some minor ones which are always in motion. And these lithospheric plates, layer of plates are there, and it always being in motion. It has been always being in motion, and the 7 major lithospheric plates are the African plate, the Indo-Australian plate, the Eurasian plate, the Pacific plate, the North American plate, the South American plate, the Antarctic plate. So student, the theory of plate tectonics was put forward in 1948. So there is another theory, plate tectonics. So according to this theory, the earth crust is made up of rock plates known as lithospheric plates. There are 7 major lithospheric plates and some minor ones which are always in motion. So the upper part of surface, the earth crust, which is solid part of earth and which is in continental drift, which always moves. The soil part of earth, we can say the soil part of globe, which always in motion. So there is layer in that earth crust, and that layers are known as lithospheric plates, and that plates are in always motion, and by that motion sometimes they come closer, and sometimes they go farther with each other. So these plates are individual connected with itself and having its own quantity and quality, and when it moves all the plates which is interconnected with itself. And there are 7 major plates which moves and having different qualities of regime and system. And there is African plate which would have to be in Africa, and there is Indo-Australian plate, that is plate which is connected to India and Australia. So if we see that plate is in inner part of sea and ocean, that outer part is not that plates and layers. This is inner part which is interconnected in ocean and at outer part of also. So this plate has been joined and make join those all continents. So this is very important to know. So the 7 major lithospheric plates are the African plate, the Indo-Australian plate, the Eurasian plate, the Pacific plate, the North American plate, the South American plate, and the Antarctic plate. Okay students, in this video we have discussed about the formation of continents, this continental drift theory, and theory of plate tectonics. That how by the lithospheric plates all continents are linked up, and by the motion of that lithospheric plates the continent moves. And we also know that there are 7 major lithospheric plates. Okay students, in this video we will conclude it up to this. In next video we will read further. In homework you have to write a small summary on continental drift and plate tectonics theory. You can search from mobile also, and you can use your course book also. And if there is any queries and questions, you can ask on my number. Till then students, read and more and more for your half yearly examination is going to come. And till then, have a nice day. Thank you.